Testing. 1, 2. Hello? How's my mic quality, people? Chat? Chelsea, I have Vashta here in the chat. Tell me how my mic quality is. Alright, Chels. Alright, just give me a few more seconds to take care of some stuff and then we'll get started. This stream is not brought to you by Micah Curtis's Inglewood Book 2. SGD has dropped a link in the chat, so go check it out. And you're probably asking yourself, what the heck is Inglewood? Well, fortunately for you, I have a video reviewing the first Inglewood book where you can learn all about what the hell Inglewood even is in the first place. All you need to know about Inglewood is a street-level superhero crowd-funded independent comic book. That's a lot of words there, stick with me please. Inglewood Book 2 is exactly what it is. It's Book 2. It's the sequel. And fortunately for you, check Inglewood Book 2 today on Indiegogo. There are multiple tiers that you can choose from, including a tier where you can get both the first and second book. So what are you waiting for? Back Inglewood Book 2 today. And if you can't back it at the moment, well, don't worry. Spread the word to those who can.
Jeff.
Alright. I think they can hear us now. So yeah, I think they can hear us now.
Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You can see my face for once. Not just, I mean, like an actual face, not just a PNG. So, if you didn't know, before we were starting, we were talking about Gundam Seed, because, of course we do. We're masochists. God,
Don't worry, we'll talk about Seed Destiny soon, and Crosshair, and what other bad mecha series.
Oh my god! Please, I am not looking forward to Crossange. I can't. So like when just listening to like premises about like Crossange and stuff, it's just no, that doesn't. My camera looks a little off to me at least. I'm gonna adjust it a bit. There we go. Live camera. Positioning. Oh, look at that! How unprepared we are.
Look, I'll purposely find what is labeled as the worst mecha.
The worst mecha? I don't know. I think the worst thing I've experienced so far has been Gundam Seed. If I ever watch Crossange, I'll probably take that spot. I'm not looking forward to Crossange, Nijato. Do you really want me to sit down with you and watch Crossange?
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Or I can sit down with you and just ramble drunk history style about the plot to Crossange.
so just chugs down a bottle of whiskey. All right, so here we have the fucker embryo, the god, and he's horny, but he's horny on purpose, because his whole plot revolves around the idea of I like it when a woman can kick my ass.
He drinks whiskey, then watches the show and tells you about it when he's sober.
Yeah.
Nick's here again. I couldn't see him because his little PNG logo was hidden. Oh Christ! I gotta adjust this. We're doing it live. No.
He has always been here, Changus.
I had connection issues. Are we live now?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
You okay, Nick?
I was gonna ask you to show you something, but but connection.
Changes.
Not a Family Guy clip. Can't say it. Can't say it. Ninjato. Not a Family Guy clip.
It's not a Family Guy clip. I refuse to believe.
Is it? Is it a Transformers clip?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, there we go. God, look at this. I came in unprepared. We haven't even got to the actual review part. I have to finish setting up everyone's little PNG logos last minute because that's how unprepared we are.
Man, you're more underprepared than Professor Takuanik with first class of Bionicle 101.
It's called.
And that's why you're failing.
It's called improvising. Don't you harass the professor. By the way, Professor, am I getting an A?
No.
I guess seppuku time it is then.
Oh no! That's
Professor, please! I need the A in Bionicle 101! My parents will kick my ass!
What is the name of that one orange janitor that appeared in the Matanui Online game 2?
That's a trick question. We never finished Matanui Online game 2 because that game fucking sucked.
Well, you should have done at least research, so you fail.
Wow. Okay.
No, that game does suck.
Nick. Professor Nick, always expecting perfection. I understand that. I get that. But that one time when you made that cereal that was just berries, I didn't criticize you. You gave it a funny name.
Alright, so who's in the chat? Mastic was here for a bit, and then he said some weird thing, and I said, I love you too, Mastic, no homo. And Chelsea accused me of being a homo, which I had to denounce that, Chelsea. No, nothing against the gays. Nothing against the gays. You know, you're fine, but I don't mean that way.
and for that, Riot needs the bunker.
Yes, right. Ray, if you're somehow, I don't know, watching this through psychic telepathy or something, bonk Chelsea. Servants in the chat. Has been a while, Servant. This looks rough, so things seem nice. How's the stream, guys? We're just finishing setting up because I'm unprepared as usual. So there is that. So, welcome everyone to the first 2 Cents Review Live. It's not 2 Cents Live, it's 2 Cents Review Live. If you don't know, a while back on my YouTube channel, which is in the About section, I made a video reviewing Micah Curtis's comic book Inglewood Book 1, which by the way, this stream is not brought to you by Inglewood Book 2. SGD put the chat earlier. You could scroll up to find that for Book 2, the campaign. Back it if you will, and so basically, long story short, I've been trying to find a time to do a proper review of his book 3 Nights and 4 Days for a while now. Problem is, life happens. Class, for one thing, that was a thing. I don't enjoy class. That always drains me. Look at that. I'm not even looking at my camera when I'm talking. I'm looking at the book. How unprepared am I? I can't even look at the camera when I talk. Oh my
Are you
God.
really trying to do a jobby thing where you do a live stream review and then you're gonna edit it down?
Maybe. Probably is just gonna keep it a live stream for this one because I just don't have the time to edit anymore. I mean this. Once the semester of class ends, then obviously I'll have time to edit. So maybe I'll edit this stream down into a proper video. But until then, it's just gonna be a live review of this book. And look at that, knocking it off center already. That's great. So why don't we just get started? So this is 3 Nights and 4 Days, independent horror comic book by Micah Curtis. And oh my God, I just realized I didn't have any background music on. I was supposed to have royalty-free jazz playing. Christ.
I would actually put the comic as action horror.
Action horror? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's marketed as a horror, but yeah, action horror if you want to be a little more specific. So it's an action horror comic book by Micah Curtis of Inglewood, Book 1 and Book 2. SGD put the chat in there, thank you. And overall, I will say, it's not bad. That's not bad. That's what I have to say about it. I think Micah Curtis did a good job once again. I still have a little bit minor qualms with it, but they're more like personal issues, really. I don't think there's anything really objectively wrong with the book. But before we can get into depth with any of that, let's just start off with just the presentation of the book in general. All right, so as you can see, first off, the book looks nice. Oh my god,
Yep.
This lighting is terrible in my room. I'm supposed to be reviewing and I'm just complaining about my lighting. The lighting is not doing this cover justice, but it is a nice cover.
Which cover are you doing? Are you doing the regular one?
Yeah, the regular one, with the three knights fighting the demons.
With the banner and stuff?
The banner?
With the trade dress, with the title 3 Nights 4 Days.
Yes, yeah, with the trade dress. I put the thumbnail in the 2 cents back room, so that's the cover I'm using. That's the cover I bought. And so the presentation overall looks pretty good. I'll talk a bit more about the art and coloring as we go on later in the book, but overall this is a fairly nice looking book. Now, I will say, for people looking at my camera, the reason why the book kind of looks a little bent, a little warped, is because I neglected this book for a bit and I didn't properly store it away like a fucking retard I am. So the book is a little bent, but that's just because it's been kind of leaning on this book stand for like several months now, because again, I've been meaning to film and edit a proper review of this, but I just didn't find the time. So that's why it looks like that. But if you actually do get the book like fresh mint and stuff, it looks great. And so I guess we could talk about just the condition of the book physically in general. So the book itself, when you first get it, is actually pretty solid. It's not that bad feeling. It feels firm. So you can manhandle all you want with a damn book, and for the most part, it's gonna feel good. Unlike Inglewood Book 1, the cover, at least, well, I had the director's cut of Inglewood Book 1, where the cover had kind of like this glossy finish on it, and this book does not have that, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. The bonus is that, again, when you manhandle the book, you're not going to get the grubby fingerprints on it like Inglewood Book 1. At least the version I had, which is the director's cut.
Yeah, I'm holding actually both Inglewood Book 1 and 3 Nights 4 Days right now. So with the feeling is that Inglewood Book 1 is very glossy. It feels like you're, in terms of actual paper, it definitely feels like you have a modern kind of comic book feel. With overly glossy.
It's supposed to feel like something for like a collector's edition, which, I mean, that's practically what it is.
Right. While 3 Nights 4 Days, actually, I like this one better, and I think it's because of the different paper quality. I think he mentioned that this is like a matte finish or something.
Okay.
It has that good blend of like classic comic books where it's very papery, but still has that enough glossiness so that it's gonna be tough and not get easily ripped apart.
Yeah.
Like, you actually have to put effort in tearing it, as opposed to the first one where it's very good at durable, but it may look a little bit shiny, more reflective, and it's a lot more reflective, and it just feels a bit more slippery in your hands.
Right. This one though doesn't. It feels it is a different material, that's for sure, from Inglewood Book 1. But like Inglewood Book 1, like I said in that review, it is still a fairly sturdy book, at least when you first get it. So you could literally shake it around. You know, you could give it a good shake, you could flop it around and stuff, and for the most part, the book's not gonna break or bend on you. Mine did, however, because of negligence over time. But that's not the fault of the book, that's the fault of me, because I was a retard. I love using the word retard, because that's what I am sometimes. Self-deprecating jokes aside, yeah, the book is overall fairly good. You do get...
Oh no, Sever just told Micah how we're out-boomering him.
Boomer? I'm not even a boomer. Okay, here we go. A live stream is nothing without tangents. For the longest time, I thought I was a fucking millennial, because people kept telling me, if you're born in '99, you're still considered a millennial. But then now everyone's like saying, no, you're not a millennial, you dumbass. You're like Gen Z or Gen X. I was like,
You're a zoomer.
yeah, I'm a zoomer. I'm zooming it up rather than boomering it up.
It's like that. It's just like, what cares? Who cares what kind of generation you are? It doesn't matter in the end.
I suppose. But just a correction, servant, before I get triggered again. I'm zoomering it up, not boomering it up.
Generations only really matter when the millennials need someone to blame for their problems.
Oh, SGD out there with the hot takes. You know what was the Eric Andre quote? How could you say things so controversial yet so brave? But yeah, but back to the overall physical quality of the book. It feels nice. Now you do get a decent page count with this book. I think you get over 40 or 60 pages.
Yeah,
of
it's
story.
over 40.
It's over 40.
It's over 40. Yeah, because as far as I know, the whole story, when it's part 2 comes out, is pages, and this is like half of it. So,
yeah. So overall, the physical quality of the book is fairly good. You get 40 plus pages of content, and it's at a good amount of time. Let's see here.
Yeah. So what's the premise, Changus?
Well, the premise is it's 3 nights fighting demons for 3 nights and 4 days. Yes, the title is a pun. If you don't like puns, I'm sorry. Deal with it. So yeah, the title is a pun, and that is the overall premise of the show. Oh my god, what am I saying? Of the comic book. So yeah, so it's a simple premise, right? There's nothing much to it. But we can't really talk too much about a story without first
hello.
talking
You're my
about
new neighbor.
the art.
You just moving?
Oh, who just followed? Map has followed. How you doing, Map? So, hello. Let's see. First time chat. Let me look at this. Bisminger, Changus Khan, Hey Rider, Ho Rider. Okay. That's a reference to something that I am not getting. So, there is that. So, anyways, let me stop the rotation of the book real quick. Okay, there we go. So, we can't talk much about the story, which that's where I'll rip and tear into the book. Shitty doom jokes aside. First of all, let's take some time aside to talk about once more about the presentation of the book. So let's actually talk about the art of the book. So I'm holding the book up closer to the camera now. Now, as you can see, here you have a better shot. Again, it looks great. Is this camera out of focus? Are you for real? Oh my god. This is absurd. The camera is not focusing on the cover. Nope, now we're out of focus. Okay. That's good enough.
Don't.
So
Try not to show it so close to the lens, because then the camera's gonna start freaking out.
well, it's a manual focus camera, so I can always
Oh, that's
just
your problem.
I like the feeling of manually focusing my camera. I'm not a big fan of autofocus because it always focuses on the wrong thing that I wanted to focus on. So overall, the presentation of this book again it looks nice. The art is great. This is the artwork by Preston Acevedo, and overall, it's a fairly good book as to how it looks. In fact, here, let me just give you a taste. So, like, just the first page of this book alone, like, looking at the first page alone, you can see that there is a clear attention to detail going on here. Fantastic work, in my opinion, by Preston Acevedo. Like, just look at the backgrounds alone. Then you just look at the actual characters. Like, Preston really is one of the best artists out there for independent comic books. He does, I think his Twitter handle is like just Preston Acevedo. So just look at Preston Acevedo on Twitter. If you want him to do your art for your comic book, just hit him up in his DMs and stuff. So, like the overall art is great, and because Preston really does do a good job in my opinion. And what's really fascinating that I didn't know until Micah talked about it was the fact that a lot of the line work is actually not heavy inking. A lot of the line work is actually pencil work. So that's actually a really interesting thing to have most of your line work just be mostly pencils instead of ink. At least for me, because I don't know much about comic books, because that's how I am. So
so in comparison, the difference between something like Englewood and 3 Nights 4 Days is Englewood, because it is inked, like, because it is clearly inked, yeah, very cartoony, very exaggerated style to it.
right.
So it's like with just pencils. There's a thin, like there's very thin, very flat,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, bold, like bold art on display.
Yeah. So
It also gives it like a just a tad more grittier feel to this story.
right, which it fits perfectly considering for what this book is even about. You know, a more grittier feel to the art is perfect for this book. Like just overall, the line work is great by Preston. Let me go to like a battle scene real quick here. So like just a battle scene here. Or I just want to talk about also how just not just the line work, but also like the paneling. Okay, so the paneling, in my opinion, can be a bit basic. It gets the job done.
Oh, hello. You're my new neighbor.
Someone else has followed me. Who has followed?
Like
this
when
Linder has
okay.
followed.
So Cengiz, when you bring up paneling, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be
Yeah.
Is there a way to improve it, or is it just that
I never said I had a problem with it. I'm just saying it because again I'm not a I don't know how to make comic books, so this is brand new territory for me.
For me, who has
these reviews is just basically my documenting my journey into learning, how to make comic books and stuff, and so that way I can figure out, what makes a good comic book, So when I say basic paneling, it's because I feel a bit spoiled at times by several manga I've read, where they have really creative uses for panels, and so that's just me, that's a personal thing. But overall, the paneling in this book does get the job done. It may look a little bland for me, but for other people, I'm sure it'll fit in. And also, I'm showing the page of the big goat monster tearing apart the woman. That's always a cool.
Of course. Of course, the money shot.
Of course.
Yeah, that's always a cool shot of just the goat monster just ripping apart the woman while the little girl cries. Like that already just sets the tone of what this book's gonna be all about. It's like, oh shit, these are demons. Well, turn on the Doom soundtrack. We're going hunting, boys. Or slaying.
Yeah, for me, when I was looking at the panel, I actually enjoyed a lot of the paneling. A lot of like, there was a lot of moments where they go like focusing on the eyes or on like.
Yeah. In fact, the page next to the page where the goat monster is, there's those nice panels where it focuses on like the eyes. That's actually also an interesting thing that I also noticed also in Inglewood Book 1, where you know, that scene. Where Carlos does the big thing that everyone fucking hates him for.
F Carlos.
Yeah, fuck Carlos. There's that scene where Elijah is holding that guy in his hand, and there's those like zoom in shots of his eyes. So I'm guessing this is like a thing Michael likes to do. Like he likes to focus on the eyes to sell emotions, which I'm all for that. It works. It sells. So that's, but also I talked a bit about the paneling, but also we gotta talk a bit about the coloring as well. Now the coloring, in my opinion, it feels it's alright. It's a little what's the word I'm looking for? It could kind of feel a bit desaturated, but in my opinion, but for me that fits due to, you know, the tone of this book and story. You know, it's supposed to be a very gory and gritty book, so kind of a little desaturated color. It fits. Though I do like the coloring when in the battle sequences with the knights versus the demons, like that red haze that comes over like whenever the demons show up. That's always nice because that, you know, that's like already, you know, like that. I don't fucking remember. Or basic color
it sells
theory.
the point. It sells the point that it's hell on earth because red is, like, you know, red is for blood.
Yeah.
And usually
and also it also does make sense because, like, you know, like this is a very bloody battle going on. So like the idea of like the red haze kind of like mixing in with the blood really like makes you kind of lose focus of like where's the blood actually coming from. Because, you know, it's such a mad fight going on against these demons. So
for me,
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna talk my point of the coloring. Mm-hmm. To me, I didn't feel like the colors were like very desaturated. It kind of fits the nice blend of like the gritty, like dark, depressing tone that's gonna go, but still have that bright and colorful enough that it's not DC.
It can't be colorful. I will say that it's just
it's only dark. It's only like, you know, desaturated when it's at night, like at night or indoors, or it's maybe a bit more at the beginning because it looks like it's like a basic. Like, it looks like it's like end of fall, and so it's like a more cloudy weather. But then you go to like the next day after like the first battle, everything is a lot more sunny. There, it's a lot brighter. Like, so going like, oh yeah, each day is unique. So and it also helps with like the tone of the story as the story moves along.
I guess. I think also I do have to point out my camera doesn't really do the colors justice. The camera does not help the colors pop out. So I probably need to save it for a better camera to pick up those colors better. But overall, I can understand your point.
We'll say if I can't put my 2 cents.
Oh,
I said it.
You said it.
Oh, well.
Hold on. Wait. Do I have the button? Yes, I do. I have the button.
I clapped when I saw it.
I love
You said it.
Well,
And that is how I became Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Oh, that's why it's called that.
well, I was
Oh,
playing.
that's nice.
I was playing the Red Letter Media clip. I clapped when I saw it because that's.
I know, but that's all I can think.
That's all you can
whenever,
think of?
when someone says, he said it.
You said it.
Yeah, I clapped when I saw it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
To get on topic. To be honest, I found colors to be the weakest part of the whole presentation,
Really?
because there's nothing it does fit for what is needed, but at the same time, there's nothing that really stands out about it. There's nothing that really makes it uniquely. There's nothing that there's nothing it adds to the art that it could easily be without. Like it comes across as a bit flat, a bit dull.
Interesting. So I guess that kind of does fall into my opinion of the colors feeling a bit desaturated at times.
The only thing, I think the only real comparison I would have to this is whenever is of course one of the major influences of this book, Berserk.
God bless Kentaro.
Whenever, yes, God bless his soul. May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the publisher says to Kentaro, you can break out the crayons and color a page. I think one thing I've always appreciated about whenever Kentaro Miura has time to color in has the time to put color to his work is how well he can add to a page. Because there's always talk from people about his immaculate detailing. He adds to a lot of panels, and just his flat pages in general. It's just like whenever Kentaro Miura uses his colors, he uses a lot of he uses colors not only to bring out a very within the art, where it's like there are just general where it's like there are general panels that really feel like he used acrylic when that wasn't the case.
Okay.
At the same time, he always used the hues and the color. The hues and the textures he uses for a lot of his colors has a very greasy, disgusting feel to it. It adds to, it greatly adds to the tone. Just the idea of the world as being very very. The world being a very, very dark, dirty place, where everyone is been running around so much that they feel like they look so sweaty that you can touch them, and just you might even smell how rancid they are.
Interesting.
So that's. But here it feels very standard. So it feels like you were looking for someone. You feel like you were looking for someone to add color to it, but then you also didn't tell them, try to make it. Try to have a style to it. Just.
Interesting. Well. Okay, that's a take that I never thought I would hear, but but hey, this always glad to have your input, not. yeah, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I guess really, the only thing for me is that does kind of tie into my opinion of the fact that I feel the colors can be a bit desaturated at times. But that's just that's my 2 cents. Press the button again. Where is it?
I clapped when I saw it.
Oh, he clapped. I clapped when I heard it.
Oh my god, he said it! Now I'm become Genghis the Khan. Oh, that's why he's called that. So like overall that the artwork is good, and I do have to mention also that like the overall like, because one thing I never talked really too much about in the first Inglewood was the flow of action, and I think the flow of action is done pretty solidly in this book. Let me open up to a fight scene again. Like there is a sense of movement. It's not as much movement though, but that is mostly, though it depends on certain scenes. Like if you're focusing on like a group shot, like a panels of like a group of knights fighting, then you're not gonna focus too much on the movement. But like if it's like a one-on-one fight, like that fight between the hammer knight and the goat demon, then,
Dietrich.
Yeah, Dietrich. Then you can see like there's like a sense of motion going on. And again, like that's something I didn't really touch upon, but flow of action is important when it comes to an action comic book. And so I think, in my opinion, that flow of action is pretty solidly done. I wouldn't say it's anything too remarkable. And the overall composition, I think the overall composition, it works. It's fairly solid, and I do enjoy it. It's not anything too flamboyant or extravagant, but for what it is, I'm happy with it. So the overall presentation of this book is pretty good in my opinion. Obviously we have our little qualms with it. Not had a very interesting take that I could see where he's coming from, and and that's fine. Now, to get into the meat of this review, my qualms, and I wouldn't really say even qualms, it's more like just personal taste I kind of have that the book didn't really give me, is really in the overall writing of the story, how the writing and the story is presented in this book. So obviously, the story is a fairly simple premise. It's about 3 knights fighting demons. How simple can that be?
Well, there's more to it.
There is more to that, but I don't really want to talk too much about spoilers for this review.
Well, you could at least just go with the initial setup. It's like, okay, why are they fighting demons? It's like
true. Like there is that witch who.
Well, the witch thing is like a later thing. Like the whole premise is essentially 3 knights return home from Second Crusade's Electric Boogaloo, and went back to the hometown of one of the knights, like the Knights of Saint Lazarus, Roger, and
right. Well,
and they come home to realize it has been attacked of a demonic cult, and they decide to defend the town.
Right. Well, if I was like to like give a simple premise, like if I was to sell this book to like a person, like one sentence, I would usually just say it's 3 knights fighting demons for 3 nights and 4 days, and if that's your thing, then there you go. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Is it like Doom? It's like medieval Doom. Oh, okay, I can dig that. So really the overall premise, when you boil it down, is fairly simple. Protecting a hometown from demonic invasion. It's a fairly simple premise. So with a fairly simple premise, for me, if you have a fairly simple premise, then your story should really shine through the characters. And I will say, for this, the characters they're okay. I like them. There's not too much, at least for me, that distinguishes them that much personality-wise. Like there is enough to tell them apart besides their appearances, but like for the most part, their motives seem pretty similar. You know, they're coming back home from Crusades to Electric Boogaloo. You know, they kind of want to rest, and then great, there's demons. Well, we're not just gonna let this town die. We're gonna fight them off. You know, so the characters are simple enough. I'm specifically talking about the main characters, the 3 knights. That said, just for me, at least, I kind of wish there was a bit more with the knights to distinguish them, especially considering what the knights are like, are tackling, are about, like the themes, themes of this book, themes, everyone. Like the themes that these knights represent, I do enjoy the concept of it, like the whole thing about, like, you know, like you're coming home from a war, but then it's the concept of a soldier who can never escape the battlefield. It's like you're home, but are you truly home? You know, like you feel like you still belong on the battlefield out there doing your job. You know, and I like that idea on paper. I like the concept of that. I kind of wish the knights themselves. I kind of wish this book delved a little deeper into each knight's own personal, like, thoughts on that themes of, like, you know, like the idea of coming home and then, but you never really left the war. I kind of wish we could see, like, each of the knights' own little personal take on that. That's, you know, that idea. But that's...
I'm actually of the opinion that it didn't need it.
Well, again, I do need to say that this is more of just a personal thing of me, and I'll get a little into that. I'll get a little into it a bit wide later. Just a personal thing. I kind of would like to see just a bit more. But that's just me, because, like, you know, you got these 3 characters. You know, I feel like you could do something. You could do something with these 3 characters, even in a short amount of pages. You know.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that it seems like your issue right now is that the development you kind of wanted to do is like, oh yeah, I wanted to, because would be just a huge pause where, like, we don't get to the part
I
where
wouldn't say a huge pause, like just like,
well,
maybe.
yeah, because let's think about this, okay? So like the beginning of the story is to delve more deep into coming home from war, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would add, like, at least 1 more page to get to all 3 knights' perspectives about coming home from a war, and that before they have to go fight demons. And the thing, what I'm hearing from you is more like your experience with manga is you kind of expect more of, like, manga levels of development.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm not really asking much for development.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second page, like, the first page is like a good setup for the whole thing, where you have the leader knight holding a book, and then the next page goes day 1, goes back in time a bit, and then immediately you get hooked. For me, when you read it, it's like, yes, I understand these characters, they're about, and then further on, as the story progresses during the action, the thought bubbles lead you into the personal thoughts. Like, you had a scene where one of the knights had to prove the existence of demons, and you hear his perspective, and that leads into the action aforementioned. Like, really, the character, the only knight that has the quote-unquote least development in this book is Dietrich, the big guy with a hammer. But he is the most simplest character out of the 3. He's there to help people. Like, period. Like, you have Roger, where you have this subplot about him and this priest, him and his family, like there's something going on, and then you have John has like a good moment, and you hear a lot from his perspective. You don't get a lot from Dietrich throughout the entire story. And plus, the story is not just about three knights coming home and they're like, oh no, the town's in trouble. There's more to it. Like, that's like their initial motivation is like, oh crap.
Well,
we have a village.
Obviously, there's more to it. I'm not denying that.
And like, here's the thing: the development is already in there. I don't understand. Like, you want to like delve into backstories when?
No, I'm not saying delve into backstories. Like, just maybe like a little one more, thought bubble here and there. That's. I'm not asking like for like.
Like, what do you want in that thought bubble? Like, just a little more insight. That's just a personal thing, though. I wouldn't say it's an objective problem. I'm trying to say it's a personal thing, but I'm not saying that it's an objective problem with the writing. I thought I made that clear that it's more of a subjective problem for me. But that's just me. The overall objective writing, though, it's fairly solid. You get the premise, you get their motives. I'm not denying that. I personally feel, I would like cause if I see something that I like, obviously I want to see more of it. But that's just me. I like what was going on. I felt like, man, I would like to see more of that. But that's just me, and and plus, also any like that stuff can probably be expanded in the second book, whenever that campaign comes out. So any personal qualms I have could probably just be washed away by then. So that's just me. I thought I thought I made it clear that it's a mostly subjective issue for me, rather than an objective problem. Like, if really, objectively speaking, the story's solid. There's nothing really much to rip it apart and stuff and criticize it, because there's not really much to do with that, because it's, for the most part, it's a fairly simple premise. Like, obviously things are starting to get more interesting, a little more, a lot more is being added now with leading up to the second book. So now you're about to say something.
What?
You're about to say something.
I don't think I was. Sorry.
all right.
Okay, like for me, like, this book feels like a great first half of a movie. It fits all the hallmarks of what a first and the first half of a second act is like. You set up the characters, you set up the premise, and then you have like a time of like what it's called fun and games, where you just run with the premise for a while, and then you add the twist, and the book ends on that midpoint twist, and that goes into thematics a lot more with your second half in terms of a movie. And this is what I feel like this comic was. It felt like a half of a great action horror movie.
Okay. I'm not denying that. I felt the same way. It's just, again, it's a personal taste for me. If I see something that I like, I personally would like to just see a bit more of that, and that can all be, either. But that's just a personal thing, and that's nothing to do. I'm not telling Micah, like, I wish you would, go into every single backstory of that, and because you did it, this book is 0 out of 10. I hate this book. No, I'm not saying that.
Uh-oh, someone's gonna clip it.
Oh, someone's gonna clip it. Oh no! Chink is caught out of context. No,
Anyway, a spit PNG going out of your mouth right off the book. I hate this book.
That should just be a button that I use. Just it's out of context for anyone. Just like, I hate this book. And it's like, I thought you liked that book. I do. It's out of context. But no, I like the book, and I get where you're coming from, Jado. Again, I'm becoming a broken record at this point. But just to repeat myself one last time before I move on, it's a personal thing, and that can ultimately be resolved with the second book whenever that campaign comes out, you know. But so, like overall though, the book is fine. I would recommend people to get it. I would highly recommend people to check out Micah Curtis' other works like Inglewood Book 2. SGD, drop that link into chat again, please.
He's deafened.
Ah, god damn it, SGD! I made you a mod and you failed me. You failed me. He can't hear me and he can't stop me, so I can press the button. Here you go, SGD. You get the failure button.
Oh, he undeafened himself.
Failure.
God damn it, SGD. Now he does.
SGD, now you can call his all the assistant work by himself.
SGD, drop a link to Micah's campaign in the chat, would you please? Oh great. Oh great. Chelsea already clipped me out of context when I said I hate this book. God damn it, Chelsea.
Like I will say, like the problems I have with book one, Inglewood Book 1 are still prevalent, because obviously Micah wrote this book directly after he did directly after he did Inglewood.
Right.
Although I think here the format's a bit more forgiving, because he's not attempting to do this long term, and because of that, there's I'm not left as much. Not left as much going on. This feel short because I still think.
Real quick, Angry Boss says that your mic sounds very muffled.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Continue.
It's like there's still a part of me that wants more, because again, like you have that problem, like you have that kind of pacing problem, and it's like you need a button. You need a button that just says that just says decompression every time I say pacing. Because I feel like that's the one response I always. That's the one thing that gets thrown my way whenever I talk about the pacing. But it's like I think it's like my problem with the pacing with this and in the wood book one is you're never given time to breathe. There's this weird idea that I think Michael holds, where if we're not constantly stimulated with action, we might think the book is boring. Which I think is kind of it's a silly idea, because I think every now and again you can slow down. You don't need You don't need to just keep going from plot point to plot point. You should just settle down and not just to have not just to have like something be not to have a time waster, but just to have something there that this is a lot more touch. Because one thing I noticed is the night characters are fairly standard for what they are. They just don't have a hook to them. It is other than not wanting to see this innocent village being bombarded for the armies of the dead. There's not much. There's not much there for us to know. Because obviously we know Roger. It's Roger's hometown. It's Roger's home village. He wants to protect it because it is where he grew up. But I never get the sense of whether it's because of loyalty or maybe something more that John and Dietrich. John and Dietrich want to call it protect them. I really don't sense a brotherly, it's just a brotherly connection between the three. It really just feels like, okay, oh, you're here with me, so let's go help her. Now let's go for the village. And again, it's like, I don't want that story because I feel like it's just going to ruin Casey even more. But it's just, I think it's just like if we can have one thing about how just a one drop about how something is, about how those experiences over in their experiences far away with each other. So how it kind of emboldens them to be like, oh, like we survived worse. This would be nothing for us. So we got your back here, brother. Because it feels kind of too standard. Like the idea of a fortifying one location. It's not a new story. It's very much not a new story. That's the premise to Night of the Living Dead.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. I'm not. I think I can see. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. You know what it is for me? Now, when I think about it now, Ninjata, you said that you described it like kind of like like a good first half of an action horror movie.
Yeah,
I view this more not as like a action horror, not as a movie, first half of a movie, but more like a short animation. Like
yeah.
Like that's
yeah, I would agree with that.
That's what it feels like to me. Like this is like a short animation, like it's like some kind of like it's like a pilot episode.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like for me. It's like a pilot episode. It presents concepts. It presents itself. It presents what it's about, its concepts, etc. And I like it. But like a good pilot episode, usually that leaves you hanging with that feeling of, wow, that was cool. I want to see more.
I think the Not's problem is that his writing style. Like another way you can look at 3 Nights 4 Days is that it's a pulp short story, like if you read the first story of Conan, it feels like it's incomplete because there is a part 2 to it. It's actually the first 2 Conan stories are one story that were released separately. It kind of has that feeling to it, rather than.
Oh, I can see where you're coming from. You know, that's why I did say that again. All my personal qualms can just easily be washed away with the coming of the second campaign for part 2 of this book. You know, that's so, you know, if part 2 ever happens and it addresses all my personal qualms and, like, you know, like, oh, you like the stuff you saw in here? Yeah, well, we'll give you more of that. Oh, cool. You know, it could easily be addressed in part 2. And even then, if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. It's because objectively speaking, it doesn't really hurt the book. Because, like I said, a lot of my problems is mostly just it's a personal taste. You know, that's just me. And so now I do now before we close this off, I do want to talk a bit more about part 2 specifically. I had to stop for a while, and it kind of ties into all my thoughts. It's really this is my little PSA, I guess, or rant. No, it's more of a rant about crowdfunding in general. All right, and this ties into my review of this book. Like it's like a pilot episode where, you know, it's kind of short, but you like what it presents, and it kind of leaves you wanting more. And I would love more, you know, and I sure do hope I get more. I do want 3 Nights 4 Days Part 2 to come out. Now, that ultimately, though, however, leads into one issue that I do have in mind, and it kind of does, again, tie into my review. It is mostly just the nature of crowdfunding in general, because we were talking about this. We talked about this every time we mention an independent comic book. Like, it's even in like a when we were talking about Daniel Parker's book, Angel's Awakening.
Yeah, but most likely talk about it maybe next week, because I do have Peregrine Wings of a Falcon.
Yeah, there we go. So like, this ultimately lies with my little rant about the nature of crowdfunding. You want more, you know. I want more, but the problem with the nature of crowdfunding is wanting more and having more are two different things. Because crowdfunding in nature itself is what's the right word to describe the nature of crowdfunding? What's the right word I'm looking for?
It's not a guaranteed.
Right. Yeah, it's not guaranteed, and so wanting more and having more are two different things, because crowdfunding is not a guaranteed thing. It does, because what people don't understand is crowdfunding is not the same thing as shopping for a book. I feel like that's something that people still don't really understand, and I really want to hit this point at home. Crowdfunding is not shopping. When you back a campaign for a book, you're not there to say, okay, I bought the book, give it to me. That's not what crowdfunding is. Crowdfunding is funding the process of making the book. And if the book ends up being complete, then as a reward for you backing the campaign and fundraising it, as a reward, you get a copy of the book.
It's a lot more, I believe in this product, and a little bit of, I want this product.
Right. And so, well, but both tie into to crowdfunding. You know, like, I want this, and I believe this can happen, so I'm willing to pay this much to back your campaign, so that way this book can become a reality. And if the book becomes reality as a reward for your gracious donation, you get the book. You get a copy of the book. That's how crowdfunding works. And unfortunately, the nature of crowdfunding is that the campaigns are never guaranteed to be fulfilled. Case in point, Micah's Inglewood Book 2. Initially, so the link that SGD has been putting in the chat is actually the second chance for this campaign to become fully funded. The first time Micah tried to fund Inglewood Book 2, it unfortunately did not reach its initial goal. What the problems was, why that it didn't reach the goal and stuff. That's a completely different conversation. That's not the point. The point is that Book 2 initially could not get the funding it needed, and this is the second chance that this book is being crowdfunded to become reality. And so when I see Micah's Inglewood Book 2 campaign, I go, sure, I would like to see Inglewood Book 2. I would definitely like to see the loose ends be tied up with fucking Carlos and stuff. And I believe that this could be a viable project. So I will put down money to see this book happen. And as a reward, I'll get Inglewood Book 2. And so, but again, with the nature of crowdfunding, it's not always a guarantee. And plus, crowdfunding is expensive. That's also another thing people need to know. Crowdfunding is expensive. You are giving away a good portion of your money, a good amount of charity to make the campaign happen, to make the product that you want. Because
unless you have a big name, you're gonna pay at least $25 plus shipping. Yeah. For your comics. And these graphic novels are usually around, can be like a low 28 pages to a full 45. That's average. Because they have to pay for the artists, and if the book is colored, the colors, and
you also pay the letterer, and then if you're hiring a writer, then you also have to pay the writer, and then you have to pay for the actual process of putting a physical book together. You gotta pay for printing. You gotta pay for the actual putting the pages together. It's a very expensive process.
And then shipping.
Yes, shipping is definitely where it kills you. It's not to get too political. Where's the button? Come on.
Welcome to the Abyss.
Welcome to the Abyss.
Oh, welcome to the Abyss. Road trip.
Clip played.
Yeah, clip played. Like not to get too political, but if you know about the current ordeal going on with the fucking shipping crisis, that's gonna be an even bigger pain in the butt for crowdfunding now as well. So
what shipping doesn't kill? It kills comic books. It kills shows. It kills everything.
Ha!
Very funny. Very funny, comic. Go enjoy your muscle, girls.
I mean, you have to admit it is kind of clever. It is a clever.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is a clever pun.
So crowdfunding is expensive, and unfortunately, it's not guaranteed if you are an independent creator. No, that's just the nature of crowdfunding. So whenever Micah decides to put up a campaign, which I know he will, for 3 nights, 4 days, part 2, basically what I'm trying to say is, if you like what you saw here, and you believe that a part 2 can happen, then you could go ahead. You could go fund the campaign for part 2, but just know that at the same time, you're not there to shop for the book, because that's not what crowdfunding is. It's not shopping. Oh no, go ahead.
I would add that the main problem for you as a creator, when you release something on crowdfunding, and it's not so much your first project, it's your second one. if you are successful with the first one,
Mm-hmm.
the second one is still not guaranteed because the expectations for people in crowdfunding that I've noticed is that word of mouth will increase profits. And the problem I also noticed is that in the main comic book industry, though it is a different market, comic sales tend to drop. Like, after the initial number ones, which is one of the reasons why they keep making new number ones and make variant covers on that, because they want to spike up the number one so that they can have a consistent, like,
Well,
seeing that
true.
it's
But then
perception that
we also have to remember crowdfunding is a completely different market from.
yeah, of course. But it's also, you have to think about your initial hype for your first book may not be the same for your second book. Like even like first time creators, like even like people who have done a second campaign, it's still taking them wicked long because you're funding for not just the, as you say, the art has to be done. The
writing, lettering,
everything has to be
everything.
done.
It's a very expensive process.
Yeah, and like Daniel Parker, he did all of his stuff when his Kickstarter came about. Like he did most of the almost everything was done. Indiegogo, yeah. He still had to suffer delays from publishing because of various issues on his end, and that was with a complete work. And then, not to mention, like Peregrine had a troubled production schedule.
Right.
Related to personal life stuff. So
Right.
I'm not blaming them. Right.
Yeah.
Life happens. Like
basically,
like life.
It's not just the monetary side that has trouble with crowdfunding. Like crowdfunding in general is just, it's a very complicated process, and there are so many factors that can lead into, you know, whether or not a project happens or not. Like, you could get the book fully funded, you know, but then will you actually be rewarded for your contribution with an actual copy of the book? That's a completely different story. And
yeah, and all of this leads into when people actually get the book. I am of the opinion, even though 3 Nights 4 Days is like the exception to my rule. My rule is that your first comic ever has to have like a good one-shot feel, because you are essentially making your pitch. If you're making a series, that is your pitch for your series. It's like call up at any show whatsoever. Is the first episode good enough to make an audience member interested to watch episode 2? On that, like
that's actually one thing we both gave praise to Daniel Parker for his book Angel's Awakening was I do understand why Micah Curtis split this book up, this story into 2 parts. I understand that, you know. I don't, you know, could Micah have condensed the story of 3 Nights and 4 Days?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it would be the problems you had with the book. It would be 10 times worse.
Well, I mean, really, the answer is he could, but the quality would most likely just suffer even. Well, like my personal qualms with the book would probably become objective problems with the book if he condensed everything down to a single book. Like, it makes sense for the story Micah's telling to expand it into 2 parts. But what we both gave props to Daniel Parker was for that he was able to create a story that can fit into 1 book and feel like a complete story, but at the same time it still
gives a obvious seed of like, okay,
yeah, it still leaves enough there for people to go, hey, that was satisfying. What's more?
Yeah, that's, like, you want to have You want to enjoy your read while wanting something more. And I see a lot of crowdfunds that have like in this, I am limiting it to. I actually will give you a horrible example. The worst example, I would say, of, like this attitude of like future projects, Xenotype.
Oh, really?
Like, because Xenotype, as opposed to 3 Nights, 4 Days, as opposed to Peregrine, as opposed to all of my other comics, is over 200 pages.
Right. Actually, do I still have... Hold on, I'm gonna check if I still have my copy
Yeah.
of that book. Alright,
Like, if you pull up...
Keep talking.
It's a thick book. It's thick, and I expect of complete story, and what do I get with 8 chapters, which is 8 issues? I get one big fight scene with a whole lot of subplots that is all announced nothing within the current arc, just set up for future arcs.
Here we go.
While
I got the book pulled up on camera. Look at the look. I forgot how fucking thick this thing is. Christ.
yeah, I'm holding it in my hand. It's wicked thick. So
We don't really learn anything about the protagonist either.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't learn, like, the amount of material covered in the first 8 issues of Xenotype is the equivalent of 1 episode.
Well,
No, I would say not even 1 episode, half an episode.
well, the big problem with Xenotype was that it does present interesting concepts, but it focuses. But the author Liam Gray, he decided to focus more on world building rather than focusing on characters. Because like again, like for his book, for like a first book, something like this, I don't think you should be worrying. I mean, obviously world building is important, but you shouldn't have that at the forefront of your focus.
Yeah, and I don't want that excuse of like, oh yeah, it will make sense with future arcs, right? Like,
But again,
you
like-
spend 8 chapters, 8 with the amount of money to make that one book of I know for a fact that with 8 chapters, 8 books, I know that Micah Curtis can write a more fulfilling story.
I still
Even
like
with
that art, though.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
give that the art.
Yeah, I will give credit to the artist, but in terms of writing,
Yeah.
with 8 chapters, I have full confidence that Daniel Parker, Micah Curtis, who was the writer for Peregrine, so the team at Greater 25, Brian Christow has already proven that he can do 8 chapters with 6 Gun Gorilla.
Here's a nice shot of the main character becoming henching into the hero, as they say in Kamen Rider. No.
Yeah, so that is, in my opinion, the worst case. It has that problem of being it has the problem of being decompressed while not giving enough to chew on.
I will say, I actually do want for a future 2 cents stream to talk about decompression and compression, because that's another topic we could go in depth about. But like, that is a problem with Xenotype. The book is very decompressed, and yet nothing really happens. Here for 3 Nights, everything is because that's Michael's writing style. Everything is a lot more compressed, but stuff does happen, I can give it that. Stuff does happen, but at the same time, it still leaves enough. There's still enough space there for you wanting more. So.
Well, yeah, like there's a difference between you wanting more and like wanting, I would say this: 3 Nights, 4 Days is is the most fulfilling. Even though it's not a complete story, I was very fulfilled of reading 3 Nights, 4 Days.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, I was satisfied enough. Again, just my personal
Like,
things just left me
I am
desiring
not.
a bit more.
And for
but-
me, it wasn't like I'm satisfied enough. It's I was completely satisfied. I'm looking forward to the next book,
really,
but I am satisfied for now.
That's how I felt for Daniel Parker's book.
Oh yeah, same with Daniel Parker's book.
Oh.
Like both, they're like the two Comicscape book that, in top of my head, yeah, that's what I have that feeling.
I read through 3 nights, 4 days. I'm like, oh, okay. I'd like to see. Like, okay. This is a nice point to end off on. I would like to see more.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. Now I don't want to see more. But that's a story for another day. But
Well, that's your own personal thing that we could talk about, another day.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was a long rant about crowdfunding and the nature of comic books, and basically what I'm trying to say is stop supporting DC and Marvel if you don't like their books, and stop complaining about it even though you support them financially, even though you don't like their products.
Well, I think the in there is like,
I'm trying to tell a joke here. It's like, oh, I get where they're coming from now. I got more Gunpla kits. It's not an addiction. It's not an addiction. I swear.
Well, if it's an addiction, I'm your pusher. But
You're a terrible sponsor.
It's like I think kind of the funny thing about DC and Marvel is, it's like, no one's buying the new stuff, but people are buying the old stuff because they're good. And then now you're just feeding the money for them to make more new stuff. So it becomes because of like what like the Red Letter Media's circle chart for Hulu. Where it's like, it's like these companies don't know how to manage their money well.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, there is that. Dirty Dan says it's not addiction. He says as he develops a backlog. I actually see. Here's the thing, Dirty Dan, because I actually do want to create a backlog. Don't mind me pointing my finger. That was just someone at my door. I actually do want to build a backlog, but for a purpose though, for a good purpose. Because it is an idea that I had for future content, but I'll talk about that more when we're ready to wrap up, which is honestly about now. I think we've talked about mostly of what we felt, how we felt about this book. Well, actually, Comet, Nick, SGD, you guys have been kind of silent. You got any thoughts?
Not that I know.
I just like the scene where John just took the demon's head to Lord Flanders. Lord Flanders be like, here's your proof. Look at it.
Actually, before we go, I do want to show them my favorite page. It's the one where Sir Dietrich is standing over the goat demon's corpse, and all with that goofy smile as his hammer's all bloody. I love that page.
Oh yeah.
Look at his goofy smile. It's like, ha! Look at that! I'm so proud of myself. Goat demon's corpse just underneath his feet. I love that. That's my favorite page. So, yeah.
I can't imagine Micah with that smile.
I mean, to be fair, Sir Dietrich is most likely just basically what a slimmer, buffed up Micah would look like. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Like, Sir Dietrich would probably look like a slim Micah.
I think if Micah was posing like that, he'd look more like this.
Oh no! What did you? What did you post in the back room? Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull that up for people to see. That's one of my favorite out of context Micah screenshots you have, SGD. Please tell me I have it. If not, I'll just have to share my window. Come on, where is it? Where is it? I remember, because I know it's saved on my computer. Oh no. Don't tell me I don't have it anymore. Oh, wait. I don't, shit, I don't think I have it, but I do have this one that I made. That's basically what I used made out of his images. Here, I'll post it in the back room. It's a meme I made about his opinion on Mecha. No hate, Micah. No hate. This is a meme made out of pure love for you. Here we go. I'll put it in the back room. Yes, Discord, just post it. There we go. Look at the back room. No hate, Micah. I love you, but you know that's you, Micah. It's like Super Robot Wars 30. Super Robot. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't have enough Gundams. Is there any other robot shows you watch?
Again, this is a meme made out of complete love for you, Micah. But come on, Micah. Enjoy some Combattler V. You know.
Yeah. But they're like superheroes.
Victory. Combine 1,
2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the top face, the top right corner. That's the face that SGD posted. That's my favorite out of context screenshot of Micah. God bless you, SGD. Alright. Before we leave, let's just skim through the chat real quick because we have been ignoring them. I'm not gonna read all of them because there's too much. Let's see. Dirty Dance. That's my sides. Yeah, it's a great meme. Chelsea's. Hold on, I need to move this mic closer to my mouth. Chelsea says this is probably gonna sound dumb, but aren't real grade and master grade the same thing? Chelsea, hold on. Chelsea, I love you, Chelsea, but sometimes you make me die inside. like earlier today in Micah's server when you posted it, I love the opening to that Gundam show, Gal Gaigar, and it's like, Chelsea, yes, Gal Gaigar is great, and yes, Gundam is great. Don't ever utter those two words in the same sentence again.
Now, hey, just to be fair, the Brave series is the Mecha Design of Daisy was done by Konio Okawa, and if you look at all like when they got the face mask and the V-fin,
that's true, but they're not Gundams.
Add one to the to be fair counter.
But to be fair, they're not. They're not super. They're not Gundams.
But Chelsea's still new. You know, give her some newbie slack.
No, I'm just making fun of you.
I understand.
Because how many times?
I understand where you're coming from, Comet. It still hurts.
Oh, I didn't say it doesn't hurt. I'm just saying.
Let's see. Let's up here. Dirty Dan says to comment on the topic, you gotta strike a good balance between the plot, characters, and world building. Yeah, That's it's like the Triforce of writing: plot, characters, and world building. You know, find a good balance with that, and you'll most likely have a very solid story.
I just posted something in background. I just love the little caption they put at the bottom.
Let's see. Angry Green Boss says doesn't help that the writer. Oh, he's talking about Liam. I don't want to talk about Liam. Let's see. Dirty Dances is Thief remake. I don't know what he's talking about. There's no offense. Let's see here. Dirty Dan says, don't tell Micah. I haven't gotten around reading 3 Nights yet. Too late. I don't know. If Micah's watching this, hi Micah. We love you. I told you this meme is made out of love. It's made out of love for you, Micah.
I guess it's supposed to say no homo.
Yes, no homo.
Micah, Jegus has feelings for you.
Oh my god, you guys, I fucking swear.
It's like Chang. I know Changus does not hold romantic feelings for you, Micah, but he does. He holds feelings that are very close to familiar. So.
Damn, you guys.
You
guys are
he
fast.
secretly wants to be your little brother.
Oh my god, you guys are fast.
No. Like, Changus sees you, Micah, as Optimus Prime that he needs to.
Oh, shut. Oh, you shush. You shush. You shush. Okay?
Wait, what was that joke? Look at somebody like whoever that guy name is. Look at tacos.
Oh my god. Angry Boss says, my only real problem with 3 Nights 4 Days is the fight scenes is a little short. The fights are good and brutal, but then it ends. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's ultimately just I think that's more of a personal issue with the pacing, because the fights still work for what they are and how they're paced. So it doesn't affect the book objectively speaking, in my opinion.
Because the thing is like that. Then you have to go into the question of, because the more you spend time during a fight scene, the more detail you have to go into on that, and it kind of ruins kind of the pulpy nature of the story and like the more actiony.
Well, but again, that just comes down to, again, that personal feeling you have of like, hey, that was cool. Would love to see more.
Yeah, and also like 3 Nights 4 Days was designed to be a graphic novel, not a manga.
True. See, okay, here's Chel's comment about the Dietrich and the goat demon. The poor girl, she got no mommy. Yeah, that's what demons do. They tear up your family. That's what they do. Okay, that's kinda about it. Damn it, Chel, stop clipping me saying gay stuff. I don't lean that way. Not that I have a problem against being gay, you know, but I just...
He admits it. Everyone, he admits it.
Oh, really? You're gonna gang up on me now too, Nick? You know, just for that?
Changus, you knew what this was.
You know what, Nick? Just for that, no Family Guy tonight. You go find someone else to show your clips for you.
See, Changus, the problem is, you knew what this friendship is.
God damn you.
Genghis Khan supports the homosexual agenda.
Genghis Khan says, why aren't there more chemicals being dumped into the water? There's gotta be more gay frogs.
Okay, all I can think about is this.
What?
I'm honestly surprised you decided to go to Knockout and Breakdown's wedding, Megatron. I want to see what the gay agenda was like. Right. Frankly, I'm not impressed.
Oh boy, we're gonna get. Oh no, we're gonna get canceled.
No, we can't get canceled, okay? But look, when I say that being gay is a glitch in the Allspark, that's not me being offensive. That is a factual statement of the world building of Transformers. Look up Knockout's TF wiki page in the notes category. I'm not joking. I'm not making this shit up. A Transformer being gay is considered a glitch in the Allspark, and the fact that the writers didn't have any hindsight to realize how fucking offensive that sounds is amazing. That's literally telling gay people you're God's mistake. It's like
You're God's helper.
yeah. It's like look, listen Knockout. Being gay is, I'm telling you, Primus doesn't make any mistakes, but you were a mistake.
No wonder he turned Decepticon.
Well, Knockout was always Decepticon, because remember, under Megatron, he could be an asshole, but he's surprisingly tolerant.
Whoa.
God,
According to your guys' canon, he's Jewish.
We're talking about our own our own in joke about Transformers, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? Megatron wouldn't be tolerant." Is just played that scene, that ending from Joker. Just you wouldn't get it.
You know, I just thought of Cartman finds out Megatron is Jewish.
Shut up, fatty! Shut up, you stupid Jew! How dare you!
Actually kills Cartman.
I don't know.
Then Cartman gets
he also
resurrected.
like.
And Megatron meets future Carmen.
Future Megatron meets future. Our Megatron meets future Megatron. Future Megatron is Cartman. It's like, what the hell happened? Oh, I realized that Judaism is stupid. What? Why? Durdan says, look, Megatron, look, I may be a genocidal warlord, but I am not a bigot.
Actually, Dirty Dan, he is a huge bigot. It's just that he's okay with other religions, just not women, races, and
sexuality. Well,
yeah.
he switches on sexuality. He'll be supportive, but he'll still call you a glitch. What was that meme we made for the Megatron command of the day in our server? It's like, Nightwork speaks, stop talking that sushi language!
Megatron acknowledges the facts, but he doesn't let that influence his personal opinions.
Yes. Alright, okay. Well, remember when I said that I would try to make this a short stream? Well, just like as usual, even just talk about one subject, we end up going for almost 2 hours now. We're like,
hey, that's a record!
that is a record. That is a record. We're like 1 hour and 50 minutes in. So we will be wrapping up the show about now. Angry Boss says facts don't care about your feelings. Dirty Dan, Megatron. I'm only racist around people who don't like burritos. I understand that reference, Dirty Dan. God, I have not watched MGO in so long. Nick, do you know who MGO is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not watched him in so long. Cause I've been watching too much Jobby instead.
Jobby the Hong.
Jobby the Hong. Hypocrite that you are. You have based your entire Transformers critique on the basis of how flat the profile is. And now that you have a figure that is as flat as my little sister, you're the audacity to complain about it. You know, it's
I mean,
not a
it-
deal breaker or anything. It's a
not-
minor qualm, really. No, it is clear that I have defeated you in intellectual combat. Hand over your channel and your ass.
So is that like your basic critique of 3 Nights 4 Days?
Pretty much. I felt I've said all I need to say. You know, at the end of the day, really, it's a solid book, and I do recommend people to back the second campaign. And usually, as long as Micah keeps up this trend, the second campaign will also have an option where you can back a tier to get a copy of the first book as well if you missed it. I mean, you know, it's going to cost a little more, but that's just, you know, again, that's the consequence of crowdfunding. So if you're willing to pay a little, like about almost $50 for 2 books, minus tax and shipping, then, you know, I would say go for it. So yeah, it's a solid book. My problems are mostly personal, and while I may have my disagreements with Micah, I still like him, and I will still support him as a creator. But that's just me, you know. So if you feel the same way, you can go ahead and back Inglewood Book 2. SJD, you don't need to post that. People could just scroll up, and then they'll find links to it that you posted. So go ahead and back Inglewood Book 2 if you want. So we're about done with the review section and stuff, and we chatted a bit. Now before I end the show, this is not an announcement, but rather this is more something I want to shoot an idea and brainstorm with people, and that includes you guys. So, and this kind of goes back to what I told Radan. I kind of want to build a backlog of Gunpla. So I had this idea where once the semester ends and I have more time, I want to try streaming daily, but only for like an hour per day. I mean, Saturdays will still be 2 cents live and stuff, but during like the weekdays, I'm thinking like 1 hour streams per day. And what I was thinking of doing was that at those 1 hour streams, I would build part of a Gundam model kit. So like I would just straight up stream myself here on Twitch just for an hour building part of a model kit. You know, most likely unicorn here. Full armor unicorn's probably going to be the first of that I want to try out. And I just want to shoot that idea. Would you guys be down with that?
Resisting the urge to snark.
So,
What do you mean snark?
I'll tell you what, you're just going to build like random Gunplas. This is not going to be like some big project where you're going to try to build a diorama.
Well, I don't have the space for dioramas. That's one thing. It's just, yeah, it'll be just building a model kit that I have, and, you know, and people get to I guess join me in the process of building it. Again, it's just an idea I'm shooting, you know.
It'd be a good time. Be just a good time to, like, you know. I think the, you know, like, because I think I could be wrong, but I think the High Dog and the Zaki have mobile have kits. And you could try to get the Cypher 2.
Okay.
Just
Chelsea, clip this part right here. That's giving me a list to buy.
and then I'm sure the Alex is inexpensive now, so you can just I
do want to get that master grade Alex.
I completely recommend it. It's one of the best kits I've had Like one of the best builds I've had in a while.
Really? It's that good?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, next month, Get a Robot Arc should become available, I think.
On Blu-ray?
No, the kit.
Oh, actually, well, okay, so online retails have it that Get a Robo Arc model kit would be out around the end of November and starting the beginning of December. There's a local hobby shop that I go to down in Burbank. They already have high-grade Get a Robo Arc kits. Yeah,
But
I can't afford it because I spent it all on getting that X3 for Ka, which that will actually be my first master grade kit that I ever possess.
oh, okay. So happy for you finally. You finally advancing to master grades.
Yeah. Not's just behind his computer screen. He's smiling so proud, like, I raised that boy.
I was gonna say like before we talked about Arc.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say it's like there can be a cool project where you can do where it's like you can like if you ever once thought about like like maybe it's like paint because there is a Zaku 2 FZ
Mm-hmm.
which was Birdie's model in Warren Pocket. It exists in the Re 100 line, so it is going to be it's going to be like it's going to have nice detail to it, but it is going to be like high grade build.
I will say I do want to eventually start getting into panel lining. I just need to make sure I can, I don't screw up on that, because I don't want my first kit of panel lining be something like something big like the X3 for Ka. It's got to be something a little smaller.
Well, because I was going to say it's like fun thing you can do is like you can just grab like a Zaku model.
Mm-hmm.
And just start painting it and like try your hand at painting it in Warren Pocket colors. And like I don't think it'd be go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say like I don't think it would be that hard to do because it's a lot like it has a lot to do with the shading. And there are like some parts here and there, but you could try to track down those parts fairly easy. So, but no, I think it'd be a fun project for you.
Okay. I do eventually down the line want to start getting into painting. I just need to know how to get the paints and obviously find a space in my house to actually paint, because there's not much room in my house for that at the moment. Let's see. Dirty Dan says, if you're gonna panel line, just use the Gundam markers you can get on Amazon. They're great. I recommend gray for the white plastic, brown for red and yellow plastic, and black for everything else. Also, you can wipe the excess off with your fingers. Oh, okay. Okay, then. I'll try panel lining then. That would be fun. Dirty Dan also says, Dirty Dan is also singing the praises of the Alex 2.0. I recommend don't bother with the joint covers. Joint covers.
There's plastic. There's a bit of for the arms. There are a bit of plastic sort of covering you can put between in the joints from the forearm to the shoulder. And it's a pain in the ass. It's like I didn't do them at all. I took them off. It's a wrapper. Like it's literally just a wrapper.
Huh.
That it's like it's like you put it on the on it to simulate like hiding hydraulics. It's so cheap.
Ah.
They should have just gave you rubber.
Okay. Well then, if I get the Alex, I'm just gonna probably toss out the covers then. Chelsea says I have to Gundam markers too. Okay, I'll get some markers and then I'll start panel lining. That would be fun. All right. So yeah, that was just an idea I just wanted to shoot around, and so far, people seem supportive enough of it. So like once the semester is over and I have more free time, I'll try doing a 1-hour stream every day of just Gunpla building, because that's what I find fun. Yeah. All right. So with that said, we have officially crossed the 2-hour mark, because that's how our streams always go. We always say, oh, we're gonna keep it like under an hour, and no.
2 hours later.
2 hours later. Yeah, that's how it always goes.
2 hours later.
2 hours later. So yeah, Chelsea says there's also a marker remover for the Gundam. Okay, so yeah, there we go. All right, so with that said, we can close off the stream. Again, just to reiterate one more time for closing thoughts. Solid book. Recommend getting the second one. Well, recommend backing the second one. And if you do enjoy Micah Curtis as well, then also back Inglewood Book 2, which you can scroll up the chat to find a link to that. And we also learned a lot of things today, such as that not as a terrible sponsor for my Gunpla addiction. I mean, Gunpla hobby, not an addiction, it's a hobby.
Yes.
Yes, not an addiction at all. I don't have a growing shelf of just Gundam model kits. That's not an addiction whatsoever. But anyways, so with that said, we can close off the stream now. I'm going to mute you guys just for this outro. Okay then, so those guys are muted. We can turn down the music just a bit. So there we go. Alright, so with that said, thank you all for coming to the first live review, 2 cents review live. Thank you all for coming. We had a lot more viewers this time, and we got a couple new followers. Shout out to those guys, by the way. Thank you all for coming. And again, back Inglewood Book 2. If you go on the Indigo campaign, I forgot to say it. If you go on the Indigo campaign and you see that there's only 4 days left to back it, don't worry. Micah Curtis is gonna extend the campaign for an extra 30 days. So yeah. Servant says this was nice. Yeah, I had fun too. Chelsea says thanks for the stream. No problem, Chels. So with that said, we can close out the stream, and I'm gonna eat dinner because I am hungry. That is a fact. I am very hungry now, and since I had such a positive reception, later down the line, probably around next month, look forward to Gundam building streams. So with that said, I'm Chengiz Khan, and this has been 2 Cents Review Live.